Alright, I attempted this once before, but my shit started tweaking, so let's try it again. On the plus side, my PC didn't freeze or nothing. What's up, YouTube? It's Aloof here. I've been listening to a lot of dancehall, so let's get right into it. It's a skeng x Tommy Lee Sparta type beat. Hope you enjoy. First off, I got this main melody here. Sounds a little something like this. One thing you want to take note of is right here in the velocity section right here, some of these notes are hitting softer than others. As you can see, like, it's pretty much the same consistent velocity level with each note that plays, and what that does is it creates a consistent bounce. You could always randomize the velocities by doing, I think it's Alt R, Alt R. But the thing about doing that is a lot of the times the velocities are so random that there's no real consistent bounce. So that's why I like to do it manually. Up next, we got this counter melody right here, and this may sound a little spaced out, but once both melodies are playing together, you'll see they kind of play off each other rather nicely. But it sounds like this by itself. And this is what it sounds like both together. Up next, I wrote this other little counter melody. It's a really nice sound, and you can see right here the velocities are messed with yet again because I wanted some of the notes to be hit a little louder than others, so it sounds like this by itself. This is what they're sounding like all together. Next, we got this progression here, and it's basically just this chord right here, the F, the B, and the F brought to another octave. And then that I used that as my foundation. Once I had that chord placed, I then began to strum. I came up with this strum pattern here. It goes up 2 semitones, and then it starts to descend. But then you can see here the chord when you play D and G together hits at the same time, and then it continues the descent here, and then comes back up 1 semitone. And then I pretty much repeated that. And then over here towards the end, for it to kind of pick up some more energy, I start another descension right here, and then down here as well. The E and the C play at the same time, that chord right there, and then the descending goes from A to F. And then down here, this plays the same time as the A, the D right here, and the C plays the same time as the F right here. And then, yeah, so that's for the strumming of it. And then I added a filler note right here, because I like the way that sounded with it playing. And then instead of keeping it consistent with that D, I just raised it 2 semitones to the E. It just gives it a little more variety, so it's not so one and the same, you know what I'm saying? But just that one simple little change later in the pattern goes a long way, and you'll see once I hit play. But let me just explain this top line right here. I just thought it was very catchy. You might agree, you might disagree. Alright, and this is what that progression sounds like all together. Here's a quick preview of all of those melodies together. Next, we got this little arpeggiated sequence here that I made. I thought it sounded cool. It basically goes down, up, mid, up, down, up, mid, and then right here I play this F and this B at the same time, and then as it progresses to the second bar, it's kind of the same situation, except the up notes right here are changed to the G sharp. These mid notes right here are changed to the C sharp. Going onto here, this third bar, you see I got this C sharp in there right before the next bar, and instead of having the F hit with that, I had the E hit with that, because I really like the way that sounded, and it gives it a little more variety. It's more appealing to listen to for sure. Towards the end right here, we have the chord hitting on the G sharp 5 down here on the B. It just gives the ear that much more variety. I got this filler right here because I like the way it sounded, this little A. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this ARP. This is what it sounds like by itself. All together, all the melodies we talked about. And I know it may be overwhelming, but we have yet another melodic pattern here. This is just a lead synth. It's really smooth, and I feel like it really complements the sound of what came to be. It sounds a little something like this. And then all those melodies real quick played together. Now we getting into the drums, baby. It's a lot of people's favorite part. I feel like it's just important as the melody, but let's get right into it. If you're familiar with dancehall, you kind of know how most dancehall bounces go. Just real simple little snare pattern that we have here. Nothing too crazy. We got some variety over here after the third bar and then after the seventh bar here. But that's just so it is not too consistent throughout the beat, because if it's too consistent and there's not a lot of variation with your patterns, then sadly the listener might find it boring. That's just what I've been told. You could take what I said and run with it or not. It's completely up to you. But I also think it adds more bounce and it just sounds really saucy. Yeah, so this is what the snare pattern be sounding like. Let me... Next we got this hi-hat pattern right here. I have it hitting on the E, and you can see the velocities vary, staying consistent with wherever the percussion may lie on the count to give it that consistent bounce. Yeah, there's nothing really too special. You can see, to give it some catchiness, I got this stutter right here, and I keep it consistent right here and right here, right? Just to give it that consistent bounce. And then we kind of fill it in as we go. Whatever you hear, you know. We got some variation between the fourth going into the fifth bar and then the eighth bar coming into the loop. Slightly different patterns here, as you can see, but I think I'm gonna play it with the snare because it's just gonna sound like a bunch of clicking. This is what the hi-hat and snare sound together. Yes sir. Coming to the kick, you can see got a lot of space between each kick. With dancehall, it's less focused on more kick placements because you gotta keep that groove going. If you have too much kicks, you have then a lot of energy, right? Except for right here in the 8th bar where it picks up energy. I got a kick on the 1, kick on the 3, right before the 5, and then on the 5, and then I have a kick placed right before this middle of the count here that gives it like it's it's about to be a I think it's called like trecio, which is like the, but as you can see I didn't place a kick here, and so instead of it's just, and I left it like that because I felt like it had a cool little groove to it, and then I repeated that on the 7th bar, and then it gets into the roll at the end to keep the energy going. This is what that sounds like all together with the snare and the hi-hat. Next we got this 808. As you can see in the beginning there's quite some space. I like the way this groove sounded, and you can see it kind of follows the kick in a way, but not entirely, just to give it some more groove, I guess. You can see that there's some space between the first hit and the second hit. I got it hitting on the 1, I got it hitting on the 3, and then I kind of transition into the 5th bar with these 2 notes. They're not gliding quite yet. I got some glides over here. These are glides, and then these are glides over here. And this just kind of transitions into this part. This little situation right here pretty much transitions smoothly into this one, instead of leaving that space, just so it's not the same throughout the whole pattern. We got it hitting the C sharp twice before transitioning into the 11th bar, and I like the way that sounded because it just was a little more unique than bringing it up an octave like that, like the last in this 4 right here. You got this situation, it's different from this situation, just to keep it unique. And we got the little glide situation transitioning into where it picks up at the end, keep that energy going. People like the 808, so we'll listen to the 808 by itself, and then we'll listen to it all the drums together. Those slides. Sheesh. It doesn't sound too special when it's playing by itself. This is what all the drums sound like together. As far as the arrangement goes, guys, I had a bunch of melodies to work with. Throughout the beat, you could see me taking stuff out and putting stuff in. It just makes it more appealing to the listener because it's not the same stuff playing in your ear the whole track, you know what I'm saying? This is basically how that went out. Started off with this. As far as the structure goes, we got intro, hook, verse, interlude, and then we have the last hook. What's really important about structure is you can see right here with the drums, especially, like I'm cutting stuff where I feel like they shouldn't be, and I'm bringing stuff in where I feel like they should be. And what this does is it keeps that variety factor alive. It makes it very easy for the listener to enjoy it, basically. Same with the melodies, right? Taking stuff out where you feel like they shouldn't be playing and stuff like that. Yeah, so this is the beat. Hope you enjoy. Tag Skeng, tag Tommy Lee Sparta. It'd be fucking dope to have one of them on here. But yeah, enjoy. Hell yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let me know what I could do to better the content, all that good stuff. Follow me on all socials, music on all platforms. Stream the fuck out of that bitch. Your boy needs money. Peace.